Greetings friends, welcome. Today we're looking at Gatsby Image. Now this provides a lot of optimizations for your image, things like placeholders while the image is downloading, so it can put up a blurry, very low resolution, very small file size on the screen while the full images is downloading. It can make sure that we only pull down a resolution of image appropriate for the device being used. So if you're on a mobile phone, it's going to bring down a smaller one. If you're on a high resolution PC screen, then it's going to bring down a very good picture for you as well. So no wasted bandwidth there. And also the file types, we can convert between file types. And again, the device can pull down the appropriate type. So yeah, very good for optimization. Takes all the workload off of us and puts it onto Gatsby Image itself, and reduces that maintenance cost as well. You know, if you've got an image-heavy website and you suddenly need to go and update to the latest version, say something like AV1, which is coming out fairly soon, then you've got to go through all those images and recreate them in that format. With Gatsby Image, this is all done because it's a static website generator. We create these images prior to the website being pushed up. And so all we would have to do is get the latest version of Gatsby Image once that includes the new format, rebuild the website, Bob's your uncle, everything done. So yeah, a lot better than the days when we used to be making, and I've certainly done this and had a nightmare maintaining like the image maps. So you put all your images into one image, and then you're using CSS to pick out the images that you want for your screen. You know, it's all good image optimization. That, you know, image maps we needed before HTTP 2, but now we're not quite so worried. But yeah, anything we can take away in terms of the maintenance and upkeep and upfront costs for image optimization is very good. And that's what Gatsby Image does for us. So let's jump in and have a look at how you can set this up. Now, I've got Gatsby installed on here. If you haven't, then you would need to get Gatsby with npm install Gatsby. And once that's in, we can do a Gatsby new. And we're going to call this image test. And we'll just do the hello world for this one. This takes a couple of seconds. I'll speed it up. Okay, we've got that installed. Let's open it up in Visual Studio Code and see what it looks like. Okay, if I get rid of that page there. Oh, I need to go into it. So it's created a folder in here, which would be image test. And so let's open that up here. Alrighty. So it's got the standard Gatsby boilerplate code here that will allow us to get this running. Let's just check that it is. So we can do a Gatsby develop, and that should allow us to view the page. It's just going to put up hello world. First build may take a couple of seconds. All right, I think we're good. So if we reload on 8000, then we get hello world here. So looks good. First thing I want to do is just put a normal image tag in and show that working, and then we'll go and see the differences with Gatsby Image. So right, let's grab an image to start with. Let's grab this one here, and we want to go into source folder here. So in source, let's create a new folder, and we'll call that images, and we can paste this one in here, and we'll call it image 1. All right, so our default page is this index.js in here. And what we want to do is, because this is all run by Webp, we need to bring our image in, because it's going to build this website before we stick it up onto the web server. we need to import this. So let's import my image, and that is going to be from where we were in pages. So we'll need to go up into images, and it was my image.jpg. And we get rid of hello world, and we can now just put an image tag in. And for the source, we then just need to specify that object. So we say my image. And close that off. All right, if we give that a save, we should have hot module reload in here. Now, didn't like my file. Oh, it's image 1, isn't it? Sorry. Image 1. And then we go back and look. Okay, so we got success on building that this time. And we come in, and it's a pretty big image, so let's change the size of it. If I just bring this over to the left now, we'll try and split screen this. And let's give it a width of 200 pixels. Okay, save that. Did it not save? Did it not? Why are we not seeing the size change? Let me restart this thing. Oh, that did it. It was stuck somewhat. Okay. Alright, so that's the standard image. Right. Let's now look at Gatsby Image. Sorry, finally there. Although it will take a few minutes as well. So what's the first thing we need to do? We're going to need a few plugins. We're going to need a little bit of setup involved in this. So let's stop the development bundle again and clear that down. The first thing we need to install is Gatsby Image. That's our main component that we're going to be using. Once that is installed, we can import it into the project. So we can do an import here, and we're going to import image from Gatsby Image, and that will allow us to come down in here, and rather than using the inbuilt tag, we will be using capital I image, like so. All right, that got installed. Okay. Now, as we mentioned earlier, you can, with Gatsby Image, you can certainly change the size of your image pre to creating the website, and we can also change the type as well. And these things are done by some plugins in addition to Gatsby Image. So what we're going to want is Gatsby Transformer image, and also Gatsby plugin sharp. In fact, both of these are sharp. Sorry, Gatsby Transformer sharp. Okay, so let's get both of those installed. What did I do? I didn't do an I. npm install. Okay, that might take a couple of seconds. We'll just speed this bit up. Now sometimes it just fails, but if we do it again, it'll work. And it did, so that's good. Okay, we can now pull those into our project. We don't need to import them here. They're actually going to be used by Gatsby internally. So we need to go to gatsby.config here, and we're going to add these in. So we're going to add Gatsby Transformer sharp. That's one of the ones we added, and also Gatsby plugin sharp. Okay, so that's going to allow us to do the transformations there. Now, one of the barriers to entry to using Gatsby Image is that you've got to source the files using GraphQL. Gatsby, very integrated with GraphQL to pull in all of its data, and yes, you can't get around it. You can't just have it on the file system and reference it. You've got to reference it via GraphQL. Now, to do that, we need to pull in another package here, and we need to say, so this package is Gatsby source file system. It's either Gatsby source file system all the way around. We'll see. It might be a Gatsby file system source. I can never remember. But it just takes a couple of parameters here. So we'll call it images. We need to specify the path. So we will be putting this in the current path, dir name and source and images. Right, so we got a lot of errors there, but I'm hoping that's fine. If we save that off. It looks pretty good. Let's see if that lets us run it. We do need to install that one as well. So npm install Gatsby source file system. All right, very nice, very nice. And then let's see that that's still running. So Gatsby develop. Let's see if there is an error in here. It certainly thinks there's an error. Oh yeah, I do need to have a name here. Sorry, options. I think it's options. So we can run that again. Okay. Oh, path element must be type string. I can never quite get it. So one way to look this up is to do Gatsby source file system. And if we come in here, it should give us the config nicely. So I'm just going to grab it and paste it in. And then we just need to say images and images like so. Then a Gatsby develop. Alrighty, that looks a lot better. Okay, so we've finally got that working, and we can now look to pull that in. So we need to use GraphQL. This bit's tricky, you know. This is beyond the remit of this video to learn GraphQL, but I'm going to show you what you need to do. But to get comfortable with GraphQL, if you're not already, then you've got to go away and learn that as well. So let's go in here. Now, it's actually a GraphQL playground that we can use built in. So in __ GraphQL off of our server, we can bring up the playground here, and we can get the query that we'll need. So let me just take it away for a moment. So we installed a source file system. So let's go into file, and we need to come down and select child image sharp. And there's a few options you can have. For Gatsby image, you can use fixed images, fluid images, and resize as well. We're going to demonstrate the fixed one here, which will give us 3 different resolution sizes that can be downloaded. So if I click on fixed, what we need is a few of these. We're going to need the source set, the width, the height, and the base there as well. And that should be good enough information for us. So if I run this query now, we can see it's pulling back the file. It's actually doing it as base 64, I think. But that is the information it is going to provide to us. So let's grab this query. So we can just copy that, and then I'll just come out of the GraphQL there as well. Right, in here we need to use a React hook to grab that data. So we say const data equals, and we're going to do something like use static query, and that is going to call, well, it's going to pass the results of a tagged template literal. So we do GraphQL, and then we're going to provide our query inside there. So we don't need the my query bit, we just need query and the information there. Let me bring this over a bit more. So it's going to pull in that use static query from Gatsby, and GraphQL, I'm not sure where it pulls it from. It'll probably give us an error, we'll see. So if I save that off now, that would mean I can now put my image back in. So we have an image here, and rather than using the source tag, we need to specify the fixed attribute, because that's what we're trying to get. And we need to drill down into this very similar. So we're going to do data, and then we're going to grab the file, the child image sharp, and the fixed. So in here we want to go data.file.child image sharp and fixed there, and that should get us the image. Let's take that off. Okay. All right. So you can see that we've got the two images coming up now. So we've got our standard image here and our Gatsby image. Let me get them the same size. Now we don't want to specify the size here, because that is going to be the browser changing the size of the image that's downloaded. We want to specify it in our pre-build. So in fixed here, I can actually specify the width, and we'll say 200 there as well, and that gets us a side-by-side image there. Let's go down to 100 so that it fits a bit better on both, and then I can have it both showing. So we got the two images there. All right, so what do we have to do? We had to use GraphQL query to pull in these attributes. Now there can be quite a lot of these, and one of the things that GraphQL provides is fragments that you can specify a group of these. So let's do a quick search for that. Let's do Gatsby, and it's going to be image fragment. And so if we come into the Gatsby image website here, we should see when they're using it. Yeah, this here. So we can use Gatsby image fragment there. That replaces all of these ones for us, and just makes it a little bit easier to read. So just by default, you know, you can be putting this in rather than pulling all of those out. Right. Let's have a quick look at what that has created for us now then. If we come and open the developer tools and look at our initial image. So here's our basic image. It's just an inbuilt image tag and the source pointing to that file there. And then if we look at our Gatsby one, it's actually created a lot of stuff here for us. And try and get it all in the screen. It's got a wrap around here. So this is our placeholder image. So because it's small, it's done it as base 64 for us. So that's what will get downloaded initially, and then the picture tag will specify. So we've got a source set here. We've got a 1 times, a 1.5 times, and a 2 times. So there's 3 different resolution images, and the device will determine which one to pull down. So we don't waste any bandwidth or time there. And the source set hooks into that as well. And we'll see the source set now as well when we try and use Webp, because this is just using JPEGs at the moment, but we want to be able to serve Webp if a browser can handle Webp. Now, this whole picture tag thing, there's a bit more, there's a lot to talk about there. If you want to see that in more detail, I've actually got a video on using Webp in the picture tag, so worth a peek there as well. Right. So let's try. Let's have a look at what this does actually. If we go into the network and stick it onto a slow 3G network and refresh this, how do the images come in? Let's have a look. And one of the problems is we've got a lot of debug code as well. It'll just take a second. It's probably going to take too long. What we'll do is, to get rid of all that debug, is we'll do a Gatsby build and then serve it. So we'll just have our website rather than all of the debug. And then we can do a Gatsby serve. And that should put us on port 9000, I think. Yep. So if we come back now and go into 9000, we're still on the slow G. So there's our placeholder image. The standard image, we've got nothing coming down yet. So, and then you can see it coming in bit by bit and a lot slower as well. So because this one has been optimized, I mean, let's look at the quality. It's reduced the quality considerably as well, which is why it came in so quick. But we'll put that back up a second as well. But you can see the difference in experience that you might be getting here. You get something even before the full image is downloaded, so that's going to help with layout of your page and any yanking around as it loads. And then the image is coming in a lot quicker, but it mainly came in quicker because of the quality. So let's go back in here and set, so we can set the width, but we can also set the quality. By default it's down at 50. So let's set it to something like 90. So it just makes the ability to fine-tune your optimization very easy. We're just doing this in code. We haven't got to go into Paint Shop and save an image at 90% and then check it out. We can just do it here straight away. So let's put it on fast VG, so it's a little bit quicker this time. So there's our placeholder. Then our image fades in nicely as well, so you get a much nicer experience. Right, so yeah, pretty cool there so far. We once you've got over the barrier of using Gatsby and using GraphQL, you get this thrown in for free. So what's the other main thing we can do that we'd like to do here? Is get the camera back. Yep, that's better. We might want to use a different image format. Certainly some of my stuff, I've stored a really high resolution PNG image in a CMS, and so you don't want to be serving that to a user ever. But you can change the size of it and the quality and also the type. You don't want to be doing a PNG. You want to be doing a WebP or a JPEG or an AV1 coming soon. So what we can do here is specify another fragment here. Let me go back into Fragments and see if we can see WebP. In fact, let's go into let's do this on this one, GraphQL. No, we need to go back to the debug. So let's go back to debug. So we'll be back on port 8000. We should be able to go back into the GraphQL playground. So we need this for a minute. Right, so in we come, and then into __GraphQL. And if we look at our query again now, and I scroll down, we can actually see them in here. There's a source set Webp, so we can add that and that. So I want to grab those two. We can just append them to our fragment. There is a fragment that will include that, but this just shows it a little bit easier for the demonstration here. So if I save that off now, what we should be doing is serving that image format now rather than just JPEG. So let's click on our image here, and if we come in, you can see this first tag here. We've got two now. We've got one for image Webp, and then we got one for the JPEGs. So the way the picture tag works is it goes through them, and if your browser can handle one, then it will, and it won't pick the subsequent ones. So we get Webp if we can, and if it doesn't understand it, it just moves on to the next one, and it uses JPEGs. So that gives us that extra optimization again. All right, so yeah, I think that's it in terms of an overview of Gatsby Image. I love this. It's just, yeah, it's once you've got it set up, you can just sit back and relax. You know, when the new AV1 format comes out, it will get added to Gatsby Image. You'll be able to add a fragment in here, AV1, hit build, and there you go. You've got the new image format. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't, and don't forget to click that subscribe button below for our upcoming videos. Catch you next time. Bye.